Hi, I'm Brian Billings, Mayor of historic Point Pleasant, West Virginia. You know, our community is nestled along the banks of the Great Kanawha and Ohio rivers. We're a friendly community. You'll always find a smile on our face. We would like to encourage you and invite you to come explore all that we have to offer in Point Pleasant. Perhaps you'll take time to visit the many shops in downtown Point Pleasant, or you'll visit the many other attractions that we have to offer. Point Pleasant, West Virginia, a community you would like to tell your family and friends to come and explore and enjoy. And my buddy standing right behind me, he'll be waiting for you. You know, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, the best kept secret in the Mountain State.
My name is Jeff Walmsley, and I'm the owner, creator of the world's only Mothman Museum located here on Main Street, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. People come from all over the world to visit the museum. We have archives, newspaper clippings, police reports, costumes, and they want to learn a little bit about what really happened here in 1966, 67. The story about the Mothman began in November of 1966. You had two young couples riding around in the TNT area, which is on the outskirts of Point Pleasant. It was a Tuesday evening at about 11 o'clock. The kids would kind of gather around up there, drive around and meet each other and things like that. And when they were getting ready to head back to Point Pleasant, they noticed something standing in the road near one of the old power plants of the TNT area. And as they got closer to it, they realized that it was more than just a person standing in the road. It was either this large bird type creature. They described it as about 6 to 7 feet tall, grayish in color, and they said it had two red eyes about the size of baseballs. As they got closer to it, it took off and ran towards one of the vacant power plant buildings. At this point, the two couples, they weren't terrified, but they were a little scared, so they decided, let's go back into town and maybe see if anybody else has, seen this thing or whatever. Once they hit Route 62, turn left and come to Point Pleasant, they noticed whatever this thing was over top of their car. And as they drove into Point Pleasant, hitting speeds of about 90 to 95 miles an hour, it stayed over top of their car. At this point, they were a little scared. They didn't really know what to make of this thing, and that was the beginning of the sightings here in Point Pleasant. They came back into town, called the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department went up to the TNT area to investigate, and then within the next 2 years here in Point Pleasant and the surrounding counties, you had all sorts of people seeing weird things, strange lights in the sky. People were seeing this gigantic bird-like creature. Some people thought it was just maybe a sandhill crane or maybe a large owl of some sort. But the story was never solved. The mystery is still an open book. And I think that's why a lot of people come here to Point Pleasant, is because they want to see where it happened. They want to investigate some of the archives for themselves and maybe make up their own minds. We have a festival every September. We draw 10 to 15,000 people from all over the country, all over the world. And so Point Pleasant really is ground zero for all of the Mothman sightings, the Mothman history, and the story itself.
Our Tales of Southeastern Ohio cameras were welcomed into the world's only Mothman Museum. Let's go in and take a look. As we went through the doors from the street, we found a Mothman gift shop. But the real story and the adventure begins as you enter the doors into the world's only Mothman Museum itself. Let's go explore. The Mothman Museum displays many artifacts, including items from the old TNT production facility, like this very rare ladies' mailroom coat and a cartridge box. Who or what was the Mothman? The history is here to explore in newspaper articles and even handwritten eyewitness reports. And yes, some believe that there was even a Men in Black connection. The Mothman legend has inspired many articles and books to be written, and even a feature film, The Mothman Prophecies. The museum contains a number of movie props from the making of the film, star autographs, and even a signed script. Some believe that the Mothman was a harbinger of disaster, in this case the Silver Bridge collapse that occurred just a year after the first Mothman sighting. The Silver Bridge collapsed on December 15, 1967. However, the good people of Point Pleasant really do not feel that the Mothman was connected with the Silver Bridge disaster. The Silver Bridge collapse is remembered in the Mothman Museum with a piece of its structure preserved here, a memorial to all of those who lost their lives on that cold December night. All reports indicated that the legend began a few miles away from Point Pleasant at the old TNT facility. Let's go take a look. As we arrived at the old TNT complex, the eerie sound of gunshots could be heard in the distance. Fortunately, we had been forewarned about that since there is a nearby shooting range. Most of the sprawling old TNT complex is now a natural wildlife area, but reminders of the days gone by can still be found here, like the old TNT storage bunkers.
We're on the location of the old TNT plant and storage facility. We're just outside of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and it is here that the Mothman legend began. Deep inside the Mothman bunker. One very eerie place.
We're standing, if you can understand, at what is considered by many to be the birthplace of the Mothman. This is one of the old TNT bunkers where the first sightings of the Mothman were recorded. I can't understand what you're saying. Picture the baby. I'm surprised how well it showed up. Inside the Mothman bunker.
There is a Southeastern Ohio connection with the Mothman legend. On the night of December 7th, 1966, 4 employees of the Logan, Ohio Goodyear plant were driving home to Nelsonville after working the second shift. Between Haydenville and Nelsonville, along what was then U.S. Route 33, at a spot known as the Johnny Appleseed Park, the women would have their own close encounter. One of those women, Betty Yost, agreed to tell us, off camera, of her memories of the event. Betty recalls what happened that night.
We were working second shift at Goodyear in Logan, and we started home about 11:30. And something was in the road, and I thought it was a deer. And I told the girl that was driving, I said, "Look, there's something in the road, be careful. A deer in the road, be careful." And we got almost to it, and it flew up over the car. And it was probably 4 or 5 feet tall in the road. We all screamed. Its eyes were really yellow, and we didn't know what it was after it flew. We did not stop. I wonder what it is. Every once in a while I wondered what it was, but there was no way to find out. And it come up 2 or 3 times. People would say they would see it. It scared all of us in the car.
We'll leave you with this. No matter what you believe about the Mothman legend, some misidentified animal species, or maybe something supernatural, come investigate for yourself. Point Pleasant, West Virginia, it's a great destination for any reason, and they'll greet you with open arms.
And remember this, my buddy standing right behind me, he'll be waiting on you. Come explore and enjoy the great town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, the best kept secret in the Mountain State.